Men today are quietly stepping away from marriage in numbers nobody expected. And the most shocking part is that many women have no idea why it's happening. From the outside, it looks like men have suddenly become afraid of commitment or uninterested in building families, but that's far from the truth. Most men still dream of a stable home, a loving partner, and a life built on trust. What they're walking away from is not the idea of love. They're walking away from a system that feels increasingly risky, unbalanced, and dismissive of the emotional struggles they carry alone. Men have been giving signals for years, but those signals were ignored, mocked, or twisted into stereotypes. And now that men are finally acting on their boundaries, the world is confused. The first truth many women don't understand is this: today's men feel like marriage exposes them to enormous risk with very little protection. They've watched friends go through brutal separations where the emotional damage was only the beginning. They've seen guys lose their children, their savings, their homes, and even their sanity after giving everything they had to a relationship. Men notice how fast the narrative turns against them when things go wrong. A man can be a good father for years, but one breakup can paint him as the villain instantly. They see the legal system favor one side far too often, and they ask themselves, why would I willingly sign up for something that could destroy my life? But the financial fear is only a small part of the story. The emotional reality hits even harder. Men are exhausted from feeling like their feelings don't matter. They can spend years providing for a partner, sacrificing their dreams, grinding through long work hours, and staying loyal through stress. But the moment they express emotional vulnerability, they get labeled weak, dramatic, or not man enough. When a man breaks down, nobody calls it courage. They call it instability. When he stays silent, they say he's emotionally unavailable. Men feel trapped between being judged for speaking and punished for staying quiet. Over time, this emotional imbalance becomes one of the biggest reasons they avoid committing to marriage. They simply don't feel safe expressing themselves in a world that still expects them to be unbreakable.
And then there's the pressure, the constant, suffocating pressure of unrealistic expectations. Modern dating has created an environment where many men feel they have to be everything at once: financially successful, emotionally intelligent, physically strong, mentally stable, endlessly patient, and always available. Women often say they want a supportive partner, but men feel they are being asked to perform like superheroes while receiving very little emotional support in return. Many men say they don't mind providing or protecting, but they're tired of carrying the entire relationship on their shoulders while their own needs get pushed aside. Marriage begins to look less like a partnership and more like a lifetime of pressure with no room for mistakes. There's also a growing fear that loyalty isn't valued the way it used to be. Men see how fast relationships can fall apart in today's culture. They see how easily people can replace each other because of social media validation, dating apps, endless attention, and constant comparison. Men are terrified of giving their whole heart to someone who could leave the moment things get difficult. They're afraid of being emotionally invested in someone who has one foot inside the relationship and one foot always outside the door. This fear isn't coming from insecurity, it's coming from experience. Many men grew up watching their fathers or uncles get blindsided by betrayal, or they watched friends get emotionally destroyed by partners who treated relationships like temporary entertainment. Yet, despite all of this, the biggest tragedy is that men rarely say any of these things out loud. Men are conditioned to hide their emotions, so instead of expressing their pain, they simply withdraw. They avoid conflict, they avoid risk, and eventually, they avoid marriage altogether. They've seen what happens when men complain. They get shamed, mocked, or dismissed. So men keep their fears inside, hoping someone will notice, hoping someone will listen, but most people don't. Women interpret men's silence as immaturity or fear of settling down. They don't realize it's a protective mechanism built from years of emotional scars. What women often miss is that men actually want love just as deeply as women do. They want a partner who understands them, listens to them, and respects their emotional experience. They want a relationship where their effort is seen, not taken for granted. Men are not rejecting commitment. They are rejecting being taken advantage of. They are rejecting being emotionally neglected. They are rejecting a system that makes them feel disposable. They're stepping back not because they hate marriage, but because they can no longer pretend everything is fine when the risks outweigh the rewards. If women truly want to understand why men are withdrawing, they need to look at the world from a man's perspective. Men are starving for emotional safety. They are tired of being treated as providers instead of partners. They are tired of having their problems minimized. They are tired of being expected to endure pain silently. They need a space where they can open up without judgment, where their feelings are taken seriously, and where they are valued for more than what they bring to the table financially. Modern men are not quitting love. They are protecting their peace. They're choosing their mental health over societal expectations. They're choosing stability over chaos. And unless society starts listening to men truly listening, this trend will only grow stronger. Men have not given up on marriage. They've simply given up on being unheard.